In today's fast-moving world, where everything changes in the blink of an eye, one thing has become more important than ever: self-education. The truth is, the people who stay ahead in life are not always the smartest or the most talented. They're the ones who never stop learning. Formal education might stop after school or college, but real success comes to those who make learning a lifelong habit. Think about it. The most successful people you admire, from entrepreneurs to inventors, all have one thing in common. They dedicate time every single day to expand their knowledge. When you educate yourself daily, you slowly start to shift your mindset. You begin to see opportunities where others see problems. You become more confident in your decisions. You understand the world better. And most importantly, you understand yourself better. You start learning not just for a degree or a job, but for growth, for clarity, and for becoming the best version of yourself. Most people get stuck in the same loop: wake up, go to work, come home, repeat without learning anything new. That's exactly what keeps them average. But if you choose to read even for 10 minutes a day, listen to something inspiring, or learn a new skill online, you're already separating yourself from the 99% who don't. The real secret isn't luck or connections, it's the habit of constant learning. This video is about building that habit, step by step. We'll go through 12 motivational and practical steps that will help you educate yourself daily, sharpen your mind, and place you miles ahead of the crowd. Whether you're a student, a worker, or someone simply trying to improve their life, this is your call to action. Let's start the journey of daily learning and watch how your life transforms. Chapter 1. Develop a learning mindset. To begin your journey of daily self-education and rising above the average crowd, the first thing you need is a learning mindset. This isn't just about sitting with a book every day or watching educational videos. It's about shifting the way you think, making learning a part of your lifestyle rather than a task on your to-do list. A learning mindset means you believe that you can grow. It means you understand that intelligence and success are not fixed traits, but things you can develop through effort, consistency, and the right attitude. The problem with many people is that they believe once they finish school or college, they're done with learning. But the truth is, that's just the beginning. The real world teaches lessons that no textbook can. And to absorb those lessons, your mind needs to stay open. Having a learning mindset also means being curious about people, ideas, systems, cultures, and even your own behavior. Curiosity is a superpower. When you're curious, you naturally ask questions, dig deeper, and explore beyond the surface. That exploration leads you to new knowledge, and before you know it, you're growing in ways you never imagined. You start seeing how one idea connects with another, how one book leads to the next, and how one small change in your thinking can improve your entire life. Another part of the learning mindset is humility. You must be willing to accept that you don't know everything, and that's okay. In fact, realizing how much you don't know is often the biggest push toward learning more. The people who think they know it all usually stop growing. But those who stay humble, who are eager to learn from anyone young or old, expert or beginner, keep evolving. Remember, even the greatest minds in history never stopped learning. If they can stay humble, so can we. So how do you build this mindset practically? Start by feeding your brain with positive and educational content every day. Read something that challenges you. Listen to people who inspire growth. Reflect on your daily experiences. Learn from your mistakes rather than hiding from them. And most importantly, surround yourself with people who value learning. If your circle is full of people who are only interested in gossip, trends, or negativity, it will be hard to grow. But if you surround yourself with thinkers, doers, and dreamers, learning will come naturally. Another great habit is to ask yourself one simple question every night. What did I learn today? It could be something small, a new word, a fact, a life lesson. But when you do this regularly, your brain starts staying alert throughout the day, looking for something to learn. That awareness turns ordinary days into extraordinary opportunities. Building a learning mindset won't happen overnight. But once you start, you'll feel the difference. You'll feel more in control of your time, more excited about your future, and more confident in your decisions. Learning will no longer feel like a chore. It will feel like breathing, something you need and enjoy every day. So remember, success doesn't begin with motivation, money, or talent. It begins with the right mindset, a learning mindset. And once you've got that, everything else becomes possible. This is your foundation. Build it strong. Chapter 2. Create a daily learning routine. Once you've built the right mindset, the next step is to create a daily learning routine. A strong mindset gives you the fuel, but a solid routine gives you the direction. Without structure, even the most motivated person can fall into the trap of wasting time. That's why this chapter is all about building a system that helps you learn consistently, not just once in a while, but every single day. Start by realizing one important truth. You don't need hours of free time to learn something new. Even 20-30 minutes a day is enough to make real progress. The key is consistency. Just like physical exercise builds muscles over time, mental exercise builds your knowledge, clarity, and confidence. And just like your body needs regular movement, your brain needs regular stimulation. So how do you build a routine that sticks? First, find your golden time, the part of the day when your mind is most alert. For some people, that's early morning before the day begins. For others, it might be during lunch breaks or in the evening. Identify that time and make it sacred. Even if it's just 20 minutes, protect it from distractions. No social media, no multitasking, just focused learning. Next, choose your learning method. Everyone absorbs knowledge differently. Some people learn best by reading books, others by watching educational videos or listening to podcasts. Some prefer taking online courses, while others enjoy learning through experience or writing. Choose what works for you, and don't be afraid to mix it up. One day you might read a chapter from a self-help book, and the next day you might listen to a TED Talk on personal growth. The point is to stay engaged and excited about learning. One powerful tip is to keep a learning journal. Every day, after your learning session, jot down a few things you learned. It doesn't have to be long or perfect. Just a few lines are enough. This habit will help you reflect, retain more, and track your growth over time. It also builds a sense of accomplishment. When you flip back and see how much you've learned in a month, you'll feel more confident and motivated to keep going. Another important part of your routine should be application. Don't just consume information, use it. If you learn a new word, try using it in a sentence. If you read about time management, Apply one tip the same day. When you apply what you learn, it sticks in your memory and becomes part of your life. Without action, learning becomes passive and forgettable. But when you act on what you learn, it transforms you. Also, remove the pressure of perfection. You don't need to be an expert in everything. You're not trying to win a race, you're building a habit. Some days you'll learn more, some days less. That's okay. What matters is that you show up, that you make learning part of your daily rhythm, like brushing your teeth or having a meal. Lastly, celebrate small wins. Did you finish a book? Learn something new about your brain? Improve your thinking? That's progress. Reward yourself with a little treat, or just give yourself credit. You're doing something most people don't, investing in your growth every single day. Creating a daily learning routine is like designing your future. The more intentional you are, the more powerful your results will be. Don't wait for motivation to show up. Build a system that carries you forward, even on days when you don't feel like it. This routine will become your secret weapon, one that keeps you growing, evolving, and staying way ahead of the crowd. Chapter 3. Start small, but stay consistent. One of the biggest reasons people fail to educate themselves daily is because they try to do too much, too soon. They set big goals like reading one book a week or watching hours of educational videos every day. And when life gets busy, they quit. The secret isn't in starting big, it's in starting small, but staying consistent. When you start small, you remove the pressure. You create a habit that feels easy to stick with. Think about it this way. Reading 5 pages a day might not feel like much. But if you do that every day for a year, you'll finish over 1,800 pages. That's at least 5 or 6 full books. Just 15 minutes a day spent learning something new adds up to more than 90 hours a year. That's a lot of growth without any stress. Starting small also helps you build confidence. When you finish a small goal every day, it gives you a feeling of success. And success builds momentum. That's how habits grow. One small action leads to another. And before you know it, learning becomes part of your identity. It's no longer something you try to do, it's just who you are. You don't need to wait for the perfect time or the perfect resource. You can start with what you have right now. Maybe it's a book you've been meaning to read. Maybe it's a podcast you listen to on your way to work. Maybe it's just taking 10 minutes before bed to learn something new. The point is, do something. No step is too small when it comes to growth. But here's the key: consistency. Without consistency, even the best efforts fade away. The people who grow the most aren't always the ones who study the hardest. They're the ones who keep showing up. They treat daily learning like a commitment to themselves, not because someone else told them to, but because they know it's the path to their future. You can make this easier by tying your learning habit to something you already do. For example, listen to a short podcast while brushing your teeth, or read a page or two while drinking your morning tea. This trick, called habit stacking, helps your brain link the new habit to an existing one. It makes the learning feel natural and automatic. Another helpful tip is to track your progress. Use a calendar or an app to mark each day you completed your learning habit. Watching those marks grow day by day becomes its own motivation. You won't want to break the chain, Even on busy days, you'll find a way to do just a little bit, and that's enough to stay on track. In the end, it's not about how much you know, it's about how often you choose to grow. Start small, stay consistent, let your daily efforts build into something powerful over time. This slow, steady progress will not only put you ahead of the average crowd, it will shape you into a person of discipline, focus, and unstoppable potential. Chapter 4. Learn from everything around you. One of the most powerful truths about learning is this: it's not limited to books, schools, or online courses. Life itself is the greatest teacher if you're paying attention. Every experience, every conversation, every success or failure is an opportunity to learn something new. The people who stay ahead of the crowd are not just book smart, they are life smart. They know how to observe, reflect, and grow from everyday moments. Look around you. There are lessons hidden in the simplest things. Watching how someone solves a problem at work can teach you about patience and creativity. A child's curiosity can remind you of the value of asking questions. Even a difficult argument with a friend can teach you about communication, emotions, and understanding. The key is not to rush through life, but to be present in it. Ask yourself, what is life trying to teach me right now? Many people miss these lessons because they only see what's in front of them, not what's underneath. They react instead of reflect. But the smartest learners pause. They think. They ask, why did this happen? Or, what can I do better next time? This kind of thinking turns ordinary moments into powerful lessons. You don't need a classroom for that. You just need awareness. Another great way to learn from your surroundings is by observing successful people, not to copy them blindly, but to understand their habits, mindset, and behavior. How do they manage their time? How do they speak to others? What do they focus on? You can learn so much just by watching and listening. If someone is living the life you want, pay attention to how they think and act. Success leaves clues, and it's your job to find them. Also, don't ignore failure, your own or others. Mistakes are one of life's best teachers. When things go wrong, instead of blaming yourself or giving up, try to understand the lesson behind it. Maybe it's teaching you to be more patient, more disciplined, or more prepared. Every setback has a message, and if you're willing to listen, it can guide you toward your next success. And remember, learning from life isn't always serious. You can learn from movies, travel, art, music, or even a walk in nature. A film can teach you about emotions or culture. A song can help you feel something deeply. A new place can show you a different way of living. These aren't just fun moments. They're rich learning experiences when you see them that way. To make this habit strong, end each day with a simple question. What did life teach me today? It might be something big, or it might be something small. But asking this question every night trains your brain to stay alert during the day. You start noticing more, feeling more, and learning more without even realizing it. In the end, those who learn from everything around them are the ones who grow the fastest. They don't wait for the perfect book or the perfect course. They know life itself is the lesson, and every day is the classroom. Open your eyes, open your heart, and let the world teach you. You'll be amazed how far this mindset alone can take you. Chapter 5. Use technology to your advantage. In today's digital world, Technology is no longer just a luxury. It's a tool you can use to grow, learn, and succeed faster than ever before. But here's the thing. Most people use technology for entertainment, not for education. They spend hours scrolling, watching random content, and distracting themselves from their goals. The 1% who stay ahead? They use the same technology, but with purpose. If you truly want to educate yourself every day and get ahead of the crowd, you need to use technology as your personal learning assistant. Let your phone, laptop, or tablet work for you, not against you. Turn your screen time into skill time. Start with the obvious: YouTube, podcasts, and online learning platforms. YouTube isn't just for fun. It's full of tutorials, motivational talks, interviews with successful people, and lessons on every topic imaginable. You can learn a language, improve your mindset, understand finances, or pick up a new skill all from your phone. Next, try podcasts. They're perfect for busy people. You can listen while walking, commuting, cleaning, or working out. Instead of music, play a 10-minute episode that sharpens your thinking or teaches you something valuable. Slowly, you will feel your thoughts becoming clearer and your perspective growing wider. Then, explore online platforms like Coursera, Udemy, or Khan Academy. Some courses are free, some are paid, but all are powerful. You don't need a university to gain knowledge anymore. The world's top teachers are just a click away. Even apps like Duolingo for languages or Blinkist for book summaries can give you a knowledge boost in just minutes a day. But remember, technology is a double-edged sword. It can lift you up or pull you down. So set boundaries. Turn off unnecessary notifications. Use apps like Forest or Focus Keeper to block distractions while you study. Control your tech. Don't let it control you. Also, use digital tools to organize your learning. Create a digital notebook to store insights, notes, and goals. Bookmark videos or articles you want to revisit. Set daily reminders to learn something new. Make your device your digital classroom. The people who succeed today are not always the ones who work the hardest. They're the ones who learn the smartest. Technology gives you that edge, but only if you use it wisely. Don't let your phone be just a distraction machine. Turn it into a growth machine. In the end, the gap between those who win and those who fall behind is often how they use the tools in their hands. You already have the most powerful tools right now: your mind, your time, and your technology. Combine them wisely, and there's no limit to how far you can go. Let your device become your teacher, your coach, and your guide, and you'll find yourself rising above 99% of the crowd. Chapter 6. Read every day, even a little. If there's one simple habit that can completely change your life, it's reading. And no, you don't need to be a bookworm or spend hours every day flipping pages. But if you can commit to reading even a few pages daily, you'll start to think differently, speak more clearly, and understand the world on a deeper level. The most successful people in the world are readers, not because they're trying to show off, but because they know that books are a shortcut to wisdom. Reading gives you access to other people's minds. It allows you to sit with the greatest thinkers, leaders, and visionaries and learn from their experiences, mistakes, and insights. A book that took someone 10 years to write can teach you life-changing lessons in just a few days. That's powerful. It's like time traveling to gain wisdom without living through all the struggle yourself. You don't need to start with big, complicated books. Choose something simple, inspiring, and easy to understand. You can begin with personal development, mindset, biographies, or books on topics that excite you. The key is to build the habit first. Start small, maybe just 5 pages a day. That's it. Even this small step adds up. Over time, you'll develop the focus and discipline to read more. And don't feel pressured to finish every book. If something doesn't resonate with you, put it down and pick something else. The goal is not to impress anyone with how much you've read. The goal is to learn, grow, and feed your mind with quality thoughts. Audiobooks are also a great option, especially if you're busy. You can listen while walking, commuting, or doing chores. It still counts as reading, and it keeps your mind active. There are also book summary apps that give you the main ideas from best-selling books in 10-15 minutes. It's not a replacement for full reading, but it's a great way to get a quick learning boost when you're short on time. Here's a simple rule. Treat reading like a daily meal for your mind. Just like you wouldn't skip eating, don't skip reading. Make it part of your routine, morning, evening, or any time that fits your day. Keep a book by your bed, in your bag, or on your phone. If a book is always within reach, you're more likely to open it. And don't forget to take notes. Highlight powerful lines. Write down what stands out. Reflect on how you can apply it to your life. The more active you are in your reading, the more value you'll get from it. In a world where most people scroll endlessly and waste hours on meaningless content, be the one who reads. That habit alone can put you years ahead. When you read, you grow. When you grow, you lead. So pick up that book, turn the page, and begin your daily journey toward a sharper, stronger, and smarter version of yourself. Chapter 7. Surround yourself with growth-minded people. You become like the people you spend the most time with. And that's not just a saying. It's a fact backed by psychology. If your circle is full of negative, lazy, or unmotivated people, it's going to drag you down, no matter how determined you are. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with people who are driven, curious, and constantly learning, you naturally begin to rise with them. That's why who you hang around with matters more than you think, especially when it comes to self-education and growth. Growth-minded people talk about ideas, not gossip. They inspire you to read more, learn more, and dream bigger. They challenge you to think deeper. When you're around them, you don't feel small. You feel stretched, pushed, and encouraged. Their energy is contagious, and their habits often become yours. The problem is, many people get stuck in circles that don't support their growth. Maybe it's old friends, toxic coworkers, or even family members who don't understand your hunger for learning. You don't need to cut everyone off, but you do need to protect your energy. Start being intentional about your environment. Look for people who lift you, not limit you. If you can't find growth-minded people in person, go online. The internet is full of communities, forums, podcasts, and social groups where you can connect with learners, dreamers, and achievers. Follow people who inspire you. Watch interviews of successful thinkers. Join book clubs, online classes, or discussion groups. You'd be amazed how much your mindset can grow when you're surrounded by voices that fuel your fire instead of putting it out. Also, be the kind of person others want to grow with. Be curious, open-minded, and supportive. Share what you learn. Encourage others to keep going. When you give value, you attract value. Your circle becomes stronger, and you start building a community of learners, even if it's small. One powerful conversation can teach you more than an entire lecture. Another great strategy is to have an accountability partner, someone who's also on a journey of self-improvement. You can set goals together, check in weekly, and share what you've learned. This keeps you consistent and motivated. You're less likely to quit when someone's walking the path with you. Your environment shapes your habits more than your willpower does. If you're around people who never learn, it becomes easy to skip your own learning. But if everyone around you is growing, reading, improving, it becomes natural to do the same. So take a look around. Who are you spending your time with? Do they inspire you to become better or keep you stuck where you are? The answer to that question can determine the direction of your life. Remember, growth doesn't happen alone. It happens in strong, positive circles. Build one. Join one. Be one. Because when you surround yourself with people who push you to learn, you won't just stay ahead of the crowd, you'll create a whole new level to rise to. Chapter 8. Turn challenges into learning opportunities. Life doesn't always go the way we plan. Challenges, failures, rejections, and setbacks are part of the journey no matter who you are or where you're going. But here's what separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck. Mindset. Successful people see every challenge as a lesson. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" they ask, "What can I learn from this?" When you shift your thinking like that, every hard moment becomes a stepping stone for growth. Instead of feeling broken, you feel built. Instead of feeling defeated, you feel directed. Life starts to look less like a fight and more like a classroom full of valuable lessons, if you're willing to pay attention. Think about a time you made a big mistake. Maybe you failed an exam, lost a job, said the wrong thing, or trusted the wrong person. In that moment, it probably felt painful and unfair. But looking back, you likely see how it taught you something maybe about responsibility, preparation, boundaries, or resilience. That's the power of reflection. It turns pain into wisdom. Most people try to avoid failure. They want a smooth road. But the truth is, smooth roads don't teach you how to drive, bumpy roads do. You learn the most about yourself when things go wrong. You find out how strong you are, how creative you can be, and how deeply you want to grow. That's why challenges are not the end, they're part of the education process. Start training your mind to ask better questions when life gets hard. Instead of, "Why me?" try, "What's the lesson here?" or "How can I grow from this?" This kind of thinking doesn't just make you smarter, it makes you emotionally stronger. You begin to handle stress better, recover faster, and approach the next challenge with more wisdom. Also, don't be afraid to talk about your challenges. Share your stories with others. When you do, you not only help them learn, you also learn more about yourself. Sometimes, speaking about your struggles reveals hidden insights. Plus, you'll realize you're not alone. Everyone goes through something. It's how we respond that makes the difference. Write about your challenges. Keep a journal. When something difficult happens, write it down what happened, how you felt, what you did, and what you learned. Over time, you'll build your own personal book of lessons. It will become one of your most valuable learning tools. Remember, challenges don't block your path. They are the path. The people who rise above 99% of others are not the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who refused to let difficulty define them. They used their struggles to sharpen their minds and build their character. So the next time life gets tough, pause and remind yourself, this is a lesson, and I'm here to learn, because every challenge you conquer puts you one step ahead of those who gave up. Chapter 9. Teach what you learn. One of the most powerful ways to solidify your learning is to teach it to someone else. Most people think you need to be an expert to teach, but that's not true. You just need to understand something well enough to explain it in simple words. And when you do that, something amazing happens. Your own understanding gets deeper, stronger, and clearer. Think about it. When you try to explain a concept to someone, your brain works harder to organize the information, find the right words, and break it down in a way that makes sense. That effort strengthens the connections in your mind and helps you remember the knowledge longer. Teaching transforms passive learning into active mastery. Even better, when you teach others, you inspire them. Maybe you read a great book or learned a life-changing idea from a podcast. Share it. Talk about it with a friend. Post a short summary online. Discuss it with your siblings. Start a conversation. You never know how your simple explanation might change someone else's thinking or even their life. Teaching doesn't have to be formal. You're not standing at a blackboard. You're just sharing what helped you. You can start small, maybe once a week. You talk about something new you've learned with a friend or on social media. Or maybe you create a short video, write a blog, or share notes from your reading. The method doesn't matter. The act of teaching does. Some people hold back because they feel they don't know enough. But here's the truth. You don't need to know everything to teach something. If you've read one book on mindset and someone else hasn't, you can teach them something. If you learned one powerful idea today and someone else didn't, you can add value to their life. Teaching is not about being perfect. It's about being generous with what you know. And here's the bonus. When you teach, you also become more confident. You start seeing yourself as someone who adds value, who contributes, who helps others grow. That belief alone can change your life. You're no longer just a learner. You become a leader. Also, teaching opens the door for feedback. When you share your thoughts, others might ask questions or offer their views. This interaction pushes your learning even further. It shows you what you truly understand and what you still need to explore. That back and forth sharpens your mind and helps you grow faster. So, if you want to stay ahead of 99% of people, don't just keep knowledge to yourself. Pass it on. The more you give, the more you grow. The more you explain, the more you understand. And the more you help others, the more doors open for you. In the end, teaching is not just about helping others, it's also a powerful act of self-education. When you teach what you learn, you turn knowledge into wisdom and information into transformation. Chapter 10. Set clear goals for your learning. Learning without a goal is like traveling without a destination. You may move, but you won't get anywhere meaningful. To stay ahead and make your daily education truly effective, You need to set clear, specific goals. Goals give your learning purpose and direction. They keep you focused and motivated when distractions come knocking. Start by asking yourself what you want to achieve through learning. Do you want to improve your communication skills, learn a new language, master a skill for your career, or simply become a better thinker? Your goals don't have to be huge, but they do need to be clear. For example, instead of saying, "I want to learn more," say, "I want to read one book a month about personal growth," or "I want to practice speaking English for 15 minutes every day." Once you have your goals, break them down into smaller steps. Big goals can feel overwhelming, but small steps are manageable and build momentum. If your goal is to learn coding, start by completing one beginner lesson per day. If you want to improve your vocabulary, learn and use 5 new words every day. This way, you can track your progress easily and celebrate small wins along the way. Writing down your goals makes a big difference. It turns vague wishes into commitments. Put your goals somewhere visible on your desk, your phone, or your mirror. This constant reminder helps you stay on track. Plus, reviewing your goals daily or weekly allows you to adjust them as needed and keeps your motivation alive. Another important tip is to set deadlines. A goal without a deadline is just a dream. Deadlines create urgency and help you avoid procrastination. Even if your goals are long-term, give yourself mini deadlines for each step. For instance, decide to finish a chapter of a book in 3 days, or complete a course module by next week. These deadlines push you to take action. But don't be too rigid. Life happens, and sometimes you might miss a day or two. That's okay. What matters most is getting back on track without guilt. Flexibility keeps your learning journey sustainable and enjoyable. Also, regularly review your goals and progress. Ask yourself, am I moving closer to what I want? What's working well? What can I improve? This reflection sharpens your focus and helps you learn smarter, not just harder. Clear goals turn random learning into powerful growth. They transform your education from a vague idea into a purposeful plan. When you know what you want and how to get it, you stop drifting and start advancing. In short, set clear learning goals. Break them into steps. Write them down. Set deadlines. Review often. This approach keeps your learning focused, consistent, and impactful. It's one of the best ways to stay ahead of 99% of people who wander through life without a clear learning path. Chapter 11. Embrace the power of reflection. Reflection is one of the most underrated habits when it comes to learning and personal growth. Most people rush through their days without pausing to think about what they experienced, what they learned, or how they can improve. But those who stay ahead know that reflection is the secret to turning daily experiences into lasting wisdom. At its core, reflection means taking time to look back on your day or your learning sessions and asking yourself important questions. What did I learn? What worked well? What could I do better next time? This simple practice helps you process information deeply and connect the dots between different ideas. It turns information into understanding and understanding into action. Without reflection, learning stays surface level. You might read a chapter or listen to a lesson, but if you don't stop to think about it, Most of it will slip away. Reflection is like watering a plant. It nourishes what you've learned and helps it grow roots in your mind. How can you practice reflection effectively? One easy way is to keep a journal. At the end of each day or learning session, write down a few sentences about what stood out to you. What surprised you? What challenged you? What can you apply tomorrow? You don't have to write essays, just a few lines will do. The act of writing itself helps your brain remember and understand better. Another method is to discuss your thoughts with someone else, a friend, mentor, or family member. Talking out loud forces you to organize your ideas and often leads to new insights. Sometimes, explaining what you learned helps you realize gaps in your knowledge or sparks new questions to explore. Reflection also encourages gratitude and positive thinking. When you look back on your day, you begin to notice small wins and progress that might otherwise go unnoticed. This boosts your motivation and helps you keep going, especially during tough times. Don't wait for a perfect moment to reflect. Make it a daily habit, even if it's just for 5 minutes. You can do it before bed, during a quiet walk, or while having your morning coffee. The important thing is to create space for your mind to pause and review. Over time, reflection sharpens your self-awareness. You start recognizing patterns in your behavior, thoughts, and emotions. You learn what drives you, what distracts you, and what fuels your growth. This self-knowledge is powerful because it lets you make smarter choices and avoid repeating mistakes. In the journey of learning, reflection is the bridge between experience and wisdom. Without it, you're simply collecting facts. With it, you transform those facts into meaningful growth. So make reflection part of your daily routine. Pause, think, write, talk, and review. This small habit will deepen your learning, boost your confidence, and keep you moving forward, always ahead of the majority who forget to stop and reflect. Chapter 12. Never Stop Evolving. Make learning a lifelong habit. The final step to staying ahead of 99% of people is to make learning a lifelong habit. Education doesn't end with a diploma or a job promotion. It's a continuous journey that lasts your entire life. The world keeps changing, new ideas keep emerging, and the people who succeed are the ones who never stop evolving. When you commit to lifelong learning, you prepare yourself for any challenge or opportunity that comes your way. You become adaptable and resilient. You don't fear change. You welcome it. This mindset keeps you fresh, creative, and ready for whatever the future holds. To make lifelong learning a habit, think of it like brushing your teeth or exercising. It's not something you do once in a while. It's part of your daily routine. The habits you build today will carry you for years to come. This means continuing to read, explore new skills, seek feedback, and stay curious, no matter how much you already know. Remember, even the most successful people in history, from inventors like Thomas Edison to leaders like Nelson Mandela, never stopped learning. They understood that growth is the secret to greatness. When you adopt this attitude, learning becomes less of a task and more of a lifestyle. You start enjoying the process, not just the results. One practical way to stay committed is to keep setting new learning goals. As you master one skill or topic, challenge yourself with another. Explore new subjects, meet new people, and push yourself outside your comfort zone. This keeps your mind sharp and your spirit hungry for more. Also, stay humble. No matter how much you know, there is always something new to discover. Lifelong learners are open to change and willing to admit when they don't know something. This humility fuels curiosity and makes learning exciting. Finally, celebrate your growth. Look back at how far you've come. Every new idea, every small habit, every lesson learned is a victory. These victories build confidence and remind you why learning matters. Now, as you finish this journey of 12 steps, remember, education is the key to unlocking your potential. When you commit to learning every day, you are choosing to rise above the crowd and create the life you want. Keep growing, keep evolving, and never stop learning. Thank you for being here and investing time in your growth. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more motivational content and practical life tips. Hit the like button, share with friends who want to grow, and comment below what your next learning goal is. Together, we'll keep moving forward one step at a time. Stay motivated. Stay curious.